It was just another slow afternoon on the corner of Maple and 3rd, the kind of day where the sun hangs heavy in the sky and time feels like it's standing still. Old Mr. Harris, a retired detective with a sharp mind and a quiet presence, was out for his usual walk news cap on, hands in his coat pockets, just enjoying the breeze. That's when the trouble rolled up. A young man in a cheap-looking uniform stepped out of a dusty sedan, flashing a badge that didn't look quite right. His tone was aggressive, his questions invasive. To anyone watching, it looked like a routine stop until Mr. Harris calmly reached into his coat and pulled out something that changed everything. The fake cop froze. For a split second, the street went dead quiet. No birds, no wind, no sound but the distant hum of traffic. In Mr. Harris's weathered hand was a badge. Not a toy, not a fake. A real, gleaming, city-issued police badge, the kind you don't flash unless you've earned it with decades of grit and service. "You picked the wrong guy today, son," Mr. Harris said, his voice low and firm, with that slow, southern drawl that made even the toughest criminals think twice. The young man's face drained of color. He stammered, tried to laugh it off. "2 was just making sure everything was okay, sir." But Mr. Harris wasn't smiling. His eyes locked onto the imposter with the same stare that once cracked murder suspects wide open. "Badge number, department, supervisor name, now." The fake cop took a step back, then another. From the corner bodega, someone pulled out a phone and started recording. The moment was turning. Fast. Mr. Harris took a slow step forward. "You like pretending to be a cop? Let's see how you like talking to real ones." Then came the sound of sirens in the distance. Not loud yet, but close enough to make the fake cop's eyes dart like a trapped animal. And just like Faith ran, the kid took off down 3rd Street, bolting past parked cars and startled pedestrians. Mr. Harris didn't chase. He didn't have to. He reached into his back pocket and pulled out a radio. The same beat-up department-issue model he never stopped carrying, just in case. "This is Harris, suspect fleeing northbound on 3rd, posing as law enforcement. White male, early 20s, buzz cut, blue shirt, badge is fake. I need units on him now." The response crackled instantly. "Copy that, Harris. Units en route. Stay put." But Mr. Harris didn't stay put. He turned toward the bodega. The man who had started filming was still there, wide-eyed. Mr. Harris walked up to him. "You get that whole thing?" "Yeah," the guy nodded, holding up his phone. "I got the badge, the threat, all of it. Dude looked shook when you pulled yours." "Good," Mr. Harris said, then pointed at the screen. "Send that to this number, Detective Morales. Tell her it's from me." He scribbled the number on a napkin and handed it over, then looked back toward the street. The sirens were getting closer now, but something still didn't sit right. A fake cop doesn't just show up randomly, not in this part of town, not targeting an old black man walking alone. This wasn't just a scam gone wrong. It felt like a test. Or a message. Mr. Harris's eyes narrowed as he scanned the shadows beyond the street. Somewhere behind all this, someone was watching, and they hadn't seen the last of him yet. The squad cars finally rolled up, lights flashing, tires screeching. 2 uniforms hopped out before the cruiser had even come to a full stop. They moved fast, but not toward Mr. Harris. They were already chasing shadows down 3rd. Detective Morales arrived minutes later, stepping out of an unmarked black Charger like she owned the pavement. She was younger than Harris remembered, but sharp. She scanned the scene, eyes catching on him immediately. "You just can't stay retired, can you?" she said, not smiling. "Didn't realize I'd ever left," Harris replied, handing over a copy of the video the bystander had just airdropped him. Kid was too smooth, knew just enough cop talk to bluff a civilian, not enough to fool someone who's actually worn the badge. Morales watched the clip in silence, jaw tightening. When it ended, she didn't say anything at first, just looked off down the street, where the suspect had vanished like smoke. "We've had 3 reports like this in the last month," she said finally. "Different neighborhoods, different descriptions, same MO. They flash a fake badge, get aggressive, then disappear." Harris folded his arms. "And you think it's a crew?" Morales nodded. "Or something worse. We found a burner phone on one of the last suspects cleared before we could trace it, but it had a list. Names. Some of them were retired cops. You were on it." Harris's jaw clenched. "Me?" "Yeah," Morales said. "And not just you. Judges, ADAs, even a few feds. Someone's putting together a hit list or a scare list. We're still trying to figure out which. Harris looked down the street again. That cold knot in his chest wasn't just suspicion anymore, it was confirmation. This isn't just about a fake cop, he muttered. Someone's testing the waters, seeing who flinches. He turned back to Morales. We need to find out who's behind it. Fast. She nodded. You in? He didn't answer right away. He just looked down at the badge in his hand, weathered, scarred, but still shining in, gave a slow, grim nod. Let's go to work. Over the next week, Harris was back in the game. Old contacts came out of the woodwork, retired cops, ex-feds, even a few people who owed him favors from decades past. Morales pulled strings from inside the department. Together, they started connecting dots, piecing together a network of impersonators who weren't just playing dress-up, they were probing the system, looking for cracks. The fake cop who'd approached Harris, a low-level grifter named Kyle Reams, picked up 2 nights later trying to bluff his way past security at a federal building in D.C. Under pressure, he gave up a name, Vega. No first name, just Vega. A ghost in the system, no birth certificate, no digital footprint. But Harris remembered the name. Vega had once been an informant in a deep undercover operation that Harris had run back in the 90s, an operation that had gone south and left Vega burned, bitter, and off the grid. Morales pulled the files. They were thin, redacted. Looks like someone buried this, she said. Yeah, Harris replied, staring at the blacked-out lines. And I know why. They tracked Vega to an abandoned motel on the edge of town, known of those half-collapsed places, with boards over the windows and weeds choking the parking lot. Harris and Morales went in quiet, side by side. No sirens, no backup, just 2 cops who'd had enough. Inside, they found him. Vega was older, thinner, meaner-looking than Harris remembered, but the fire in his eyes hadn't dimmed. You should have stayed retired, Vega said calmly, a pistol resting on the table next to a half-smoked cigar. And you should have stayed gone, Harris answered. Morales circled left, covering the flank. Why target cops, judges? What's your endgame? Vega laughed, dry and bitter. You still don't get it. The system's already cracked. I'm not breaking it, I'm just showing people where to push. You think fear will fix anything, Harris said, stepping forward. You think chaos is justice? No, Vega said, eyes cold. But maybe it'll wake people up. The silence hung thick. The tension was a live wire. Then Vega moved. But Harris was faster. 1 clean shot. Center mass. Vega dropped before he could reach the pistol. Later, sitting on the hood of Morales' car, Harris watched the coroner's van roll away. The motel was crawling with uniforms now, gathering evidence, pulling files from Vega's old laptop enough to shut the whole operation down. You all right? Morales asked, lighting a cigarette. Yeah, Harris said quietly. Just thinking. About what? He looked out across the empty road. How close we came, how easy it is to wear a badge and how hard it is to earn one. She nodded. We got lucky this time. No, Harris said. We got justice. He stood up, brushed off his coat, and walked into the morning light holder. Tired, but standing tall. Still a cop. Always a cop.